As you know, it's not just the game that has all of us talking the day after either.
It is also the halftime show and the commercials. Joining us to talk about the hits and some of the misses and just plain weird is Bastianelli. She is the teacher professor of marketing in the IU Kelley School of Business. And favorite commercial, why?
Well, my favorite commercial was Jeep. I thought there was really no big contest with that. It happened late in the show. I think lots of people think, okay, people have stopped watching, particularly, you know, when it's a game like it was last night.
Yes. Yep.
But I was still watching. I think a lot of people were. And I think the cool thing about this spot was it's more inviting. It wasn't heavy sort of sell. You have a well-loved actor
Harrison
here.
Ford, right?
Harrison Ford here talking about this stuff. And there's an idea behind it. So this is Jeep, you know, more than 75 years here as a product that we all know and love. And they're talking about patriotism and the meaning of freedom. And now in the course of this, you see the key, you kind of get an idea, it's a Jeep ad.
Yeah.
And you do see all the different models of Jeep, but it's not heavy-handed. It's a very sweet sort of kind of commentary on, you know, how do you live in the United States today? Well, how has this brand stayed relevant in all of this time? You know, do you need a owner's manual? Do you come up with your own? And of course, the idea is that Jeep, you know, gives you license to go take that thing anywhere, off-road, on-road.
Drive your own storyline.
Drive your own storyline. And so that is, you know, the other thing about Jeep was Stellantis was the only automaker who advertised last night.
That's right.
And typically you see all this kind of stuff. We saw Ram trucks and we saw Jeep, and that was it.
Yeah, we saw Jeep everywhere last night.
Yeah.
There also seem to be some themes, as is sometimes the case. Commercials often involve animals. For me, the most memorable commercial last night was the one for Mountain Dew, a specific kind of dew. And it was the one that, I mean, everybody's calling it the seal commercial because Seal's face was added to the seal along with that 1994 song Kiss from a Rose. And then also there was the Budweiser horses. As a marketer and advertiser, what is it about animals, do you think, that is so popular?
You know, it's simple. It's accessible. People know animals. They know the kind of personality that adds to a situation. There's relatability to it. In the case of Budweiser, I mean, this is part of the symbology of that brand. You're going to see, you're going to see Clydesdales. You're probably going to see a Dalmatian in there. This kind of thing. For Mountain Dew, it's more about zaniness. It's more about just over the top kind of stuff. So that's why you're seeing Seal's head on the top of the seal.
Right.
I think that got everyone's attention. They were like, what is that?
Is that a...
Yeah. This was also interesting. We've noticed that not all the commercials are selling a product. We remember the one that talked about breast cancer when they were just talking about a lot of women's
It was very
breasts.
revealing.
Yes, and then another one between Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady talking about hate and prejudice.
Yes.
And so has that been a theme that you've always seen, or does it feel like it's been heavier in recent years?
You know, our expectation was that everybody was going to back away from anything controversial this year. And I think that these, you know, gently sort of said, but everybody's feeling a little uncomfortable right now. So instead of taking a heavy hand, I think these guys said, let me just show you how ridiculous this sounds when we're yelling at each other, when hate looks and sounds like this sort of thing. So I think that they did a nice job of addressing that spot and addressing that issue and maybe the tensions that are happening in the United States right now without creating too much controversy, making the point without making enemies.
And from two very likable figures. And so a lot of people love Snoop Dogg, even though it was controversial. He performed at Trump's inauguration or one of the events. But a lot of people love Snoop Dogg. A lot of people love Tom Brady. Two lovable figures.
It was
a huge following.
It's got people talking, right?
Well, you can identify with at least one of them.
At least one, right?
Right. So you can see yourself in at least one of those guys. And so I think that's what they want, is for people to say, do you see yourself here? Do you hear something familiar? Does that not sound right? You're right. It doesn't sound right.
Well, we could talk on and on about this. Unfortunately, we got to go. Bastianelli with IU Kelley School of Business. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
really
for having me.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.